What's up, everyone? All right, so today's episode, I'm going to break down my trades from the morning. I'm sitting here in the green, up $8,098.54. It's not a big green day, but what I keep telling you guys and everyone who's tuning into the broadcast is that this is a market to survive till you thrive. Just keep your head above water. It's not hot right now, but this is a great opportunity to train yourself to throttle down, to be patient, to wait for good quality setups, because what happens for a lot of traders is that when the market's hot, the way it was in May, June, and July, they'll make some great money. And then when the market cools off, they keep going full throttle and they give back half of what they made, maybe all of what they made. And then over the course of 4 or 5 months, 6 months, a year, made money, lost money, they've got nothing to show for it. So the key to long-term success in the market is not just about making money. It's about learning when to take your foot off the gas so you lose less when the conditions aren't optimal for your strategy. And so that's what you're seeing me exercise right now. And it's not easy and it's not fun. This is the hardest part about being a trader, is having the patience to sit here, to show up every day at 7 a.m., to do the whole thing, to search on the scanners, to look at the charts, and then again to see there's not much moving. And what do I have to work with here today? And how much risk am I willing to take? So you could argue that I could have taken this whole week off. So far for the month of August, I suppose I could have taken the whole month off. I'm still up about $100,000 on the month, but that's only 10% of what I made just last month. Last month was over $1 million. So, coulda, woulda, shoulda. The fact is, you don't know when the market's going to cool off and you don't know when it's going to heat back up. So, it goes to show, if you are here every day, that when it starts to turn, you'll be able to capitalize on it. So this was the way I approached the market this morning. I sat down, I looked at the leading gapper. This is a stock that has very little volume, so I disregard that one. NBY, this is the leading gapper with volume. It started the move after hours yesterday, continued a little bit pre-market. My main issue, it's too cheap at $1 a share. It's got 120 million shares of volume right now, so it's very liquid. 5.7 million share float, up 68%. But the fact is, in spite of the fact that it is a biotech pharmaceutical company, this is just a price range where I would typically struggle. So here's kind of the issue with these lower price stocks. You have a lower price stock like this, and a lot of traders are going to think, well, in order to make decent money, I might as well buy 10,000 shares. Heck, 10,000 shares is only $10,000 when it's at $1 a share. Maybe I'll put in $25,000. Maybe I feel confident. Maybe I'll put in 100,000. So next thing you know, you got a lot of people who are buying 100,000 share positions. And because you've got so many people competing with big positions to make what ultimately becomes a few cents per share, the level 2 gets very stacked and the stock becomes very crowded. And as soon as it pops up even 10 cents, there's sellers pushing it back down. And of course, when it drops, there's buyers bidding it back up. So the result is that you get into this very compressed range, and there can be a point where this will break away and start to really move quickly, but it's not happening. Typically, that would be over $1.50 if it can hold $2.50, and certainly if it can hold over $2. But sometimes, even as these move higher, over $2, etc., they're still trading kind of like a grinder. So moving, but not moving cleanly. Okay, so no trades on that. Didn't want to waste, my ammo on that kind of setup. THAR, more or less the same issue. It's a cheaper stock. I saw it pop up on the scanners early here, dip down, and I just thought it's a little too cheap. Again, biotech, that's fine. It's got some room up to the 200 moving average here, but just being lower priced, and immediately as soon as I pulled up the level 2, I was like, this is kind of thickly traded. So what does that look like? This is what it looks like right here. You can see these sort of bigger stacks of buyers and sellers. And so right now it's up 63%, and you can see you've got this big stack. Now, CCSIS was the other stock I traded. This one's got sort of, slightly bigger stacks here. It's not moving as much right now because it's sort of pulled back a little bit. It's currently up only 30%. So it's not the most thinly traded stock that I've ever seen. But a more thinly traded stock typically is going to have start to have a spread between the bid and the offer. So rather than being 1 cent, it might be 5, 10, 15 cents. There'll be fewer buyers on the bid, fewer sellers on the ask. And so when a stock like that has a breaking news headline, all of a sudden you get that really quick move. So anyways, so quick explanation there. So THAR, nope, not for me. PPCB. Now, if you recall, this stock popped up just a couple days ago, and what did it do? It popped up on an OTC uplist and then sold off all day long. So now it pops up a little bit here. I don't trust it. Now, if I had been so zoomed in and didn't check the daily chart, I might have been more tempted to trade it, which is why context is important. On the intraday chart, it popped up at 4 a.m., nice squeeze, pulled back, popped up again here just before 7. I could have been thinking about that for a curl back to the high, sold off here, fail off VWAP again, then it starts to go. But again, context is important, so you zoom out and you realize, wait a second, based on that move, this is on the backside and I really can't trust it. So then we had CCSIS. All right, so this one pops up, Chinese company, so it carries a little bit of risk, squeezes up to 7, pulls back, and then it curls back up right here. So my first trade on it was at 7 a.m. as it curled back up right here. Getting in, adding as it broke over 650, I ended up getting a little bit of slippage in at about 678. Squeezes up to a high of 750, and on that first trade, I made about $3,000. So not bad, that's a solid trade. It pulls back, it pops up, it pulls back, and then it rips up to 8. I missed almost the whole candle, but I got in at about 788 and caught a little piece of that, which got me up to 4,000 on the day. Then it pulls back right here, pops up again. I took that trade, didn't really make much on it, pulls back, and I took one more trade here, which was going into the open, buying off the support of the VWAP, and got that curl there up to about 750. So ended up with, let's see, a total of, let's count the trades on this one. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. So I had 7 trades on this. And I think they were actually all winners, which is nice for accuracy, but 7 winners and up $8,000, clearly the average winners are relatively small. And that's kind of what I'm struggling with right now on the month. When we looked at my metrics from a bit earlier in the month, well, we've checked on them a few times here, but I'll just pull them up here so you can look again. This doesn't include this week. I haven't uploaded them yet, but if we look at the detailed, and we'll just do a month to date here. So this month, so average winning trade 3,000, average losing trade 3,000. So unfortunately, you know, today my average winners are only $1,000. I mean, these are really small winners. They're not helping me improve my kind of metrics. In fact, if anything, it's going to draw down the average winners a little bit. Now, fortunately, it'll improve the accuracy, which is good. Currently sitting at 69%. But you know what we'll do? We'll go ahead and export my trades from Monday and Tuesday, just so we can add that in and see how that contributes. It's not going to add really a substantial amount of profit, but it will add another, I don't know, 10 or 15 trades. So let's see. So to import trades, you go to import, you add your account tag. I use my IRA. Boom, pop that in there. And then here we go, import trades. Okay, so refresh and refresh. All right, so it imported those trades. So now we'll go to reports. So small red day Monday, small green day Tuesday. We'll go back to detailed. And so brought down the average winners slightly, right? And actually it looks like the accuracy came down a little bit. Well, I was red on Monday, so that's probably why. So yeah, you know, it's just a month where I'm kind of grinding a little bit and doing the best I can to keep my head above water. But right now, this is a market just to survive till you thrive. Don't overstay your welcome. So I think, you know, the best thing you guys can do if you're a new trader is to continue to practice in the simulator. This probably isn't the market to throw real money at if, you know, for the first time. I don't think that that's going to be worth it. So, you know, I practice in the simulator, I would build your experience. And then once you start seeing the markets picking back up, you're starting to see me and other, you know, experienced traders starting to have bigger green days. then that's the time to consider, all right, maybe I'm going to come off the sidelines and start to put a little money into this market and test it out. But right now, batten down the hatches, survive to thrive, keep your head above water. All right. So again, one of the things I'll say is if you can make it in a cold market, it's going to bode really well for when things heat up. So this is the time to exercise your discipline. All right. So that's it for me. Again, for those of you guys who haven't already checked out the 2-week trial, the link is pinned to the top comment and is in the description, so you guys can check that out. I'll put a couple episodes you could watch right here. And I want to thank you as always for tuning in. I'll be streaming again first thing tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Reminder, as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical. Please take it slow. There's no guarantee you'll find success, whether you trade with me or you learn on your own. So make sure you're practicing in a simulator. I'll see you back at it tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.